This here is a old Sears Suburban SS16 garden tractor. This here is an old Lombardini diesel motor. So basically, what I'm going to be doing is taking this and putting it right in there. So the first thing I'm going to have to do is this pulley of this tractor, which originally would have had a Tecumseh motor. It has a 1 1/8 bore, and the problem is this diesel has a 1-inch bore. Now the way I'm going to solve that is this little adapter. You can get them on Amazon for like $10, and it slides right over this and steps it up, and it comes with a little extended key. So I'm going to get that installed, get the pulley hammered on there, and then I'll put the engine right in here. Should be pretty quick and simple. Probably have to remove this little support here, but should be easy to reattach that after. So like I was saying, this tractor would have originally had a twin cylinder Onan on it, but this one had a Tecumseh. They both would have had about the same size shaft, so that would have been a much easier swap than the diesel. This seems like it's going to be a little bit tighter than I'd like it to be, but hammer will fix that. Wood helps. Can't tell if the keyway is lining up. Should have cleaned this better first. This isn't the right tool. This isn't really the right tool either, but I'll make it work. Seems like it's going on a little bit. Oh, well, that's why you don't hit these with a hammer. Well, I'm not using that part of the pulley, luckily. If I was, it'd be screwed. Well, that's why you don't hit cast iron pulleys with a hammer. See, I knew that. I just didn't listen to my own advice. This piece off before it comes off and hits me when it's running. It'll be a little unbalanced, that's alright. And here I go hitting it again with a hammer. I'm not the brightest tool in the shed, if you couldn't tell. Let's not break it more. Let's see how I'm going to do this. I'm going to get this off and then start recording again. Alright, so I got that off. And I think what the issue is the extended key is actually a little bit too much extended. This is the stock Tecumseh key, and it seems like it's much more properly sized. Now I put the extension, or the spacer, inside the pulley this time. So let's see if this works a little bit better than the last one. I can do this without breaking the pulley more. I wonder if this adapter's kind of the wrong size. It's kind of what it feels like. Or I'm just stupid. Or both. Looks like the key's lined up. that was the other key. She's gone. Probably good enough. Now I'll have to do it. Put these set screws in. Well, maybe I'll get them out of here too. Good luck. Or, yeah, all good. Alright, so that's that. Got that on there. All I gotta do is put the one set screw in. Hopefully this doesn't come apart on me. Glad I only hit this outer one because I'm not really using that one, I don't think. I think this one back here is drive, and either this one or this one, it must be this one, is the deck pulley. So yeah, this one shouldn't be used anyways. So got lucky on that one. Good thing I wasn't hitting it here or here, or else that could have been really bad. So I'll put the set screw in, and then set up the camera and start putting the motor in the tractor. Alright, so took that brace off, like I was saying, so now it's time to lift the motor in. Let's see how I'm going to do this. Oh, this hose sticking out the bottom of this thing is. Oh, some sort of oil drain, I guess. Cool. Alright. Make sure that everything's tucked away as best possible. Yeah, good enough. Alright. That's the hard part. Is it going to fit is the next question. No. Maybe. Let's see. If it doesn't fit, we can modify it a little bit to fit. Come on now. Make sure the ring doesn't get cut. Wouldn't be very good. Alright. Thing's a lot heavier than a roller. Alright, so it almost fits. The new question is, how am I going to get that to sit more flat? Might have to remove this. Luckily, I don't need it, because this has a fuel tank on it right there. Don't know if the hood's going to shut, but I can lift that. Should make it sit a little higher. It shouldn't be too hard. I'm going to leave that there, because it's kind of heavy. That air intake's going to be difficult, unless I do remove this. So I think I'm just going to remove that. Yeah, I wonder how I do that. Looks like it might just be one or two bolts. Let's see. This, like I said, the engine's been swapped out in this at least once before. I don't believe this is the stock fuel tank anyways. Bolt out. This is held in with this little hardware store metal bracket stuff. So held in the same on that side. No, that side's got actual mounts. Wonder what size it is. Probably half. Yep, it's half. Nope. Maybe. I think it actually might be metric. Feels like metric. That's interesting. It's been swapped out then. Come on. touch it. Nope. There we go. Maybe need to go get a wrench. And there goes that. Go. And that's out. That was easy. And this is just mounting with two nuts. It might actually even be 7/16. They are. And they're not easy. This is maybe shaping up to be easier than I had expected. That's nice. That's interesting. I believe, yeah, that would have been a battery tray. Ooh, spider. It doesn't look like a brown recluse. Let's hope it wasn't. Because I have to stick my hand down there now. Please don't bite me. Or if you do, hopefully you're not poisonous. Venomous or technical. I need a screwdriver for that one. Probably pull this whole battery tray if I really feeling frisky about it. But I'll just pull this. A little bit tighter. There we go. When they converted this to the other engine, they actually did a pretty good job of it, I'd say. I'm betting they had a tractor that already had that Tecumseh motor. That was probably a bad chassis or something like that. Let's try not to dump the motor. Okay, that's why. It's hooked to a bungee cord. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's hooked through there. It's like almost done here. That's interesting. It's for the headlights. That's fine. I don't want to be pulling that right now. I'll just leave it there. There we go. Well, that's closer to in position at least. We'll probably have to bend these tabs up though, or down, one or the other. But it is sitting pretty good. I have to pull it this way, so I'm pretty sure. I wonder if I'm going to do that. Let me see something. I might just do this cheating way and just cut it. It's probably harder than cutting and splicing the wire, but it's a little bit quicker maybe. Maybe not, I don't know. Come on now. Need some sharper cutters. There we go. Get through it. Now, down, up, whatever. There we go. And almost there. If I could just get this cutter in place. Go. That's not put in place yet. There we go. This isn't really the right way to do this, but that's the way I'm doing it. Lacerate myself on this thing, but it'll save me about 20 seconds of work, so it's probably worth it. There we go. Okay, now I'll move that over the top where it's supposed to go. All I got to do is bring the engine this way. That pulley is good. 6 inches off where it should be. More. Oh, let's see. there, because that's the mounting pad on this thing is a lot higher, it would appear, than on the other one. That's unfortunate. Well, I can still make it work. It looks like it's just barely in place, basically. There we go, that'll help. It's a little crooked. That's better. I am gonna have to mark those holes and drill them. Why don't I get 3 bolts in there? Let's see if that belt's gonna fit. Probably gonna have to do this. Put it on, get it on the inner pulley, and then pull it back out. And pull it back out. Okay. Belt's a little short. We're lined up there. But boy, it's hanging off the back of the engine plate. Front bolts are where they should go. Might actually have one bolt almost factory lined up. Well, that's nice. It's not helpful. Okay, that's about where you want it. Don't want this pushed in at all, really, because then you won't have a clutch, and then you can't shift, and that's a whole thing. This also is in. Alright, so how am I gonna tackle this one? What's this? Oh, it's a wire. That's meant to go to. That's some sort of voltage regulator. Or pole. Now the rear of the engine plate, the rear of the engine mount, is hanging off the engine plate in this direction. So, gotta figure that out. I could put a longer belt in, but I really don't want to wrestle the new belt into the thing. Let's see. How am I going to tackle this one? Could put a plate under the engine. I do have steel plates somewhere I could use for that. That might work. Alternatively, I could just mount it with 2 and hope it doesn't torque itself to death. Because it does spin this way, and since it's spinning that way, we'll be pulling this way under throttle, and those are the ones that are hanging off. Those ones I can get in good. That might be what it does for now. It's not the right way to do it, but it's the way that it gets done today. And that's a little more what I care about right now. Let's see if the hood shuts. No. Oh, the muffler. Well, I can drill a hole for the muffler, and I think it will shut, though. That's nice. This bracket should go right back on as well. Should go right to where it needs to go. That's another lucky break. Belt with a tiny bit longer. Lined up pretty good though. I'll just pull it just a little bit more. If that clutch is pressed in a little bit, that's fine. It's not going to help. It'll just come out like an inch. Also not quite. It's kind of right where it needs to not be. Yeah, that's unfortunate as well. I wonder if I could, yeah, I see how I'm going to do it. It's going to be 3 bolts holding it in. It's going to be this one, that one, and then I'm going to put a piece of steel under the engine mounting plate on this side, put bolts in it like this, through the stock hole and the new hole. It won't hold it super securely, but good enough for my purposes. So now I get to mark everything and drill everything. Wish I had a right angle drill. That'd be nice right about now. But instead I'm going to have to mark these and then take the engine out and then drill holes. See, this one's in a really bad spot too, because, well, I'll take the camera down here and show you. You see, that's kind of in between the frame and the mounting point. So I think what I might do here is the same as the other one, where I just take a piece of steel, put it on here, bolt it to this, on top of this, and then bolt it through down here. It's not the ideal way to do it, but it should hold, hopefully, not explode. This side's easy, just drill a hole, put a bolt. Back here, see what I'm saying, is put a piece of steel down under here, attach this bolt hole to this bolt hole there. The other corner I might be able to do that as well. I'll grab a drill and get drilling on this hole, use that as my locating point, and then I'll go from there. And I'll put the camera back on probably when I'm trying to do the rest of this steel, because you don't need to watch me drill that hole, that's simple. But you see the belt is lined up, which is nice. And the mower deck belt, well, it looks like it might work. That goes on this pulley, keep in mind, not the one that I broke. So yeah. All right, so what I did was I just took some spray paint real quick, marked those holes where they were. So I'm gonna drill those, get a piece of steel from back there, and you see I was able to kind of shimmy it and shift it around to where that's a little bit more on the metal instead of being in between the metal like it was. After drilling out this side hole, I realized the mule drive sits right up under there, but that's pretty easy to remove. There's just one pin that holds in a lever back here, and then the whole thing just slides up and out. It's actually one of the easier mule drives I've done. So now I'm going to put the motor back in here. I'm going to put bolts and nuts on those, and I'll pick the camera back up once that's all done. Alright, so I got this bolt in, had to use a pretty short bolt, and I put this little piece of rubber that was under the Tecumseh in here, just kind of isolate it, keep it from shaking itself to death. Now on the other side, ran into a slight problem. See, when I drilled this hole, I didn't consider the fact that it was right up against the frame rail on the bottom, and that I was going to have to put a bolt or a nut on it. So what I ended up doing was taking a standard bolt and just filing a piece of it off. So now, it goes right up in there, no problem. And you just put on a washer and a lock washer and a nut. And that's that. And now you don't even really have to put a wrench on the bottom, because it's that incorrect. So I'll get that tightened up. This one on this side, it's really only got maybe half the threads in the nut, but it is a larger bolt, so I'm not too worried about it. It doesn't have a lock washer, but the other one does, and I'll probably put them on these rear ones as well. So I'm not super worried about it. So I'll get that one tightened down and then come back. All right, so far I've gotten these two front bolts in. Now the main issue that I'm looking at right now is that this is the stop lever. Way back in here, right between the pulleys. This isn't really a good spot to put your hand. So I'm gonna have to rig up something for a stop and all that. But it's getting late in the day and it's looking like it's gonna start raining. So what I'm thinking is, I'm just gonna set you guys up on the tripod. I'm gonna start this and see if it wants to move under its own power. All right, so this engine has a rope start and an electric start. I'm gonna see if I can just use the rope start today. Make sure she's out of gear so it doesn't kill me. And let's just turn it a little bit. Just do this. Doesn't have a handle on this rope start, unfortunately. Yeah, diesels have a bit of compression, I suppose. That makes sense. Let's get it past the compression. And then maybe I need to try the electric start, because I don't have a handle on this. If I had a handle on this, I'm sure I could do it, but I don't. Well, let's see if I have one with the handle. Found one with the handle. You might have seen that, because I think it might have been in the background of the camera. So let's wrap it around. Oh, I don't know, 3 times maybe. I've actually crank started one of these diesels. I can't imagine it's that hard. But never know, I guess. Let's find out. Boy, yeah. It is pretty hard, huh? I guess if I didn't smash my leg into the tire. Get my filter start to go there. Let's try again. I don't know if this has a compression release. I should probably have looked at that before I tried to crank start it. Okay. Push this forward a couple feet. Just trying to go. Boy, starting diesels easy. I see why most of them have electric starters. It sucks. I'm probably going to leave it this way because I do like pull starts. I don't have to do with batteries and such. Grab the electric starter because I don't know if it has a compression release. It probably does somewhere. I don't know. Let me grab my battery box. Got the battery box. I got this little jumper wire because I need to jump the solenoid. Get her to start. Positive to you. That's negative. That would have been stupid. Or normal. Yeah, it probably works. Positive to you. Again, probably works. Okay, jumper wire to positive. Come on now. That should probably work. All I have to do is jump it to that solenoid. She should fire off. So she doesn't run away. Okay, definitely needs rear mounts. Also the belt jumped off, that's why I wouldn't move. I'll show you what happened. I see what happened is the belt just jumped off to the inside there. So I'll probably have to build some sort of shroud. I could probably use the old one off the Tecumseh and make it work. Should be easy enough. I think the main problem was that the engine was, you know, giving it all the torque, bending it. It was flopping around pretty good down here, actually. You could see it just flopping. I think it might be set a little bit high on the RPMs as well, though these do run it at 3,600. Don't think I've ever heard a diesel running that fast. That might just be why it sounded so bad. I could probably pop that belt back on and give her another shot. But I have a feeling it won't like that. Other problem I found out, if you aren't careful and you push the clutch all the way in, your boot hits that. And the clutch pedal actually almost hits it. But yeah, your boot hits that. So, I don't see any new grooves in my boot. So it must not have been that bad. I'm gonna pop the water cap back on this because it is going to rain, unfortunately, it looks like. And I'll get back at this probably tomorrow, but we'll see. I might actually just throw some steel in those rear mounts and do all that off camera, just because it's so simple. Oh, that's already pretty warm. Wow. I might be running a little higher RPM than I'd like. And also it's a little bit wet down here. Might have to look into that as well. And also this pulley sitting here when your leg's right there is kind of sketchy, being that it's not necessarily fully structurally sound, but that's okay. So I'll get back on this tomorrow and go from there. All right, so a few days have passed. I'm back on it. So what I got is this chunk of plate steel, and what I'm going to do for this rear engine mount, basically you just got to feed this in here, get it up under here, put it in an angle, and then I can bolt that hole to the plate, bolt it through the frame there, and if it's still too weak, I can always put a second bolt over here somewhere and put a second bolt somewhere in the frame here. Maybe I will put a second bolt in about here, and yeah, I'll get these holes marked and drilled, same as I did those front ones. Put a rubber isolator between this L bracket and this plate steel, and go from there. All right, so for now, I just put those 2 bolts in because getting the nut up under this was about a 10-minute job, and just about got my hand stuck between the deck and the tractor there. So I'm gonna call that good. Good enough anyways. So you still got some wobble. You can't see it on camera, I'm sure, but this way, but it's got next to none this way. That's the way the engine's spinning, so I'm gonna call it good enough. Next thing, well, there's 2 things basically left to do. Hook up this to the kill switch, right? Let's see if I, there. Hook this cable up. This is the original throttle cable. I'm gonna have to build something probably off of this here to hold that. Then I gotta make a cable, or not a cable guard, a belt guard. That should be easy. There's mounting holes here, and I have the old Tecumseh one, and I think I can make it work. So I'll get to work on one of those and then go from there. Well, as luck would have it, still had the original Tecumseh belt guard, and the bolt pattern's the same. How's that for luck? Huh. All I had to do was put a little shim behind this one. Had to, well, you won't be able to see it on camera, but had to grind it down a little bit to clear the engine case here, the bushing. Not a big deal. And then down here, I just didn't have one, so I just used a nut. And those are the exact same bolts that go into the Tecumseh as well. Man, it's nice when you get lucky. I'm gonna snug that up, and then what I think I might do is, well, I might leave this disconnected for right now and start her up and see if she moves. All right, I believe I lowered the idle a little bit, or lowered the speed a little bit off camera there real quick, or I increased the speed. Let's hope it's not that one, because I don't really want to deal with a 4,000 RPM diesel with a broken pulley. Let's give her a shot and make sure she's in neutral first. Yeah, it's all right. I did not hook up the lever for the kill, so still have to reach between the pulleys for that. It's going to be fun. Let's see. All right, so basically, that's that. It runs and operates. Now, I'm still gonna have to set up that kill switch, and I might raise the RPMs a little bit. You could hear it in third gear really bogging, third gear high really bogging on that hill. Pulled up it in second okay, and I guess it's not really a tractor meant to go in high range up hills. That is a pretty steep hill. Camera's a little bit deceiving. The pulley hasn't exploded any further, which is nice, and that belt guard did work. So now, yeah, I just have to hook that up. Maybe hook this mower deck pulley up. Yeah, that's looking like it might be a little bit short, so I'm probably gonna have to get a slightly longer belt, unfortunately, or just take the deck off, but that's not as fun. So yeah, it shifted through all the gears pretty good. That's nice. The engine isn't falling off, which is also nice. Yeah, I do have to cut a hole in the hood though for the stack, right about there. I think it's actually right where that spot is, interestingly. If you look on the inside, no, it's a little bit further back. So I'm gonna get a hole saw or a hacksaw and cut that out. And this will probably be the end of the video for today, because it's getting late in the day again, and it's not too rainy today, but it is getting late. So yeah, it works though, which is nice. That went together pretty quick and easy. I suppose I'll pick this video up when I do a little more work on it in probably a day or two. All right, so it's next day, and I got a hole cut in the hood. You can see I kind of missed a little bit on the first shot, but that's all right. I can weld that back in. Ow, that's still hot. But, well, maybe I'll leave it that way, because it does need it to clear. So yeah, that was pretty quick and easy. Just a little tip: if you buy one of these newer Diablo hole saws, it doesn't use the same mounting method as the old wood ones. So what I did was I just welded a drill bit to it. Well, it's cheaper than buying the new adapter for 20 bucks. So yeah, that's done. All I gotta do is the kill switch, pretty much. And now you can actually shut the hood, and it doesn't look too bad. Could use a flap on there. It had a cap on it, but well, I started it up this morning and forgot to take the cap off, so it's probably pretty far away. All right, so it's been about a month since I filmed the last clip of this. Since then, put this on here. You can see I've been running it, and this thing does pretty darn good. I'll tell you what. Put it in first low or second low, and either way, it'll dig holes with the rear tires. So now all that really needs to be done is, I still haven't hooked up the kill switch, but well, you know, just risk your fingers a little bit, that's fine. But right now what I'm working on is working on taking this deck belt off, because what I'm going to do, I found this cover in my parts pile, but this center pulley is what the deck belt needs to go on, not this outer one. So you would almost fit this outer one. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, while this is engaged, see it's disengaged and that's engaged. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna hold it here, and I'm gonna kinda eyeball measure with some string how much extra I need from the belt. Then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a tape measure to this belt, add that length, go up to Tractor Supply and get a belt. The only thing you really need to do to take the belts off of these is take off this shroud, which I was just removing before I started filming. It's just 3 bolts, 1/2-inch bolts. Easy to take off, comes right off that center pulley. And then this belt just slips right off, but right now I need to measure it first. So yeah, I'll probably pick this up, maybe putting on a new belt. This shroud is nice to have though, because this is chipped, so now if it explodes, it won't completely lacerate my right leg. All right, so it turns out it takes exactly a 100-inch belt. I got this belt cover back on here, got that belt installed this morning, and just spent about a half an hour cutting all this that was about a foot tall and full of leaves. And it's doing pretty good. You gotta keep it in, oh, I'd say about second low. On some of these hills going up, about first low. Some of these hills are pretty steep. Camera doesn't really do it justice, but overall it's working out pretty good. Really haven't used any fuel. So yeah, that's basically it. Only thing I had to do other than that was reverse this, which kind of sucks because blows smoke in your face. But now I can actually open the hood as opposed to before. Still do need to hook up a kill switch, but you know, I can wait. As of right now, I'd say that about calls it. Thanks for watching.